condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Tamir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man to go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations, I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
Joe Biden is asleep. Kamala is at a dance party with Beyonce. 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 Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. 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 Party with Beyonce. 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 Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. 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 Party with Beyonce. Beyonce.
Stop. Carry on.
Dance party with Beyonce. Beyonce. 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 Beyonce.
Hold up.
Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. 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 Party with Beyonce. 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 Beyonce.
H-Town. I'm Marquez. Yes to you, boy.
Joe Biden is asleep. Kamala is at a dance party with Beyonce. 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 Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. 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 Party with Beyonce. 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 Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Joe Biden is asleep. Kamala is at a dance party with Beyonce. 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 Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. 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 Party with Beyonce. 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 Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce.
All right, hello everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the Queen Ahmadiyyah to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is the second morning wake up call. Okay, so Grandpa was getting it in, was he not? All right. And so, anyway, with that all being said, let's get ready to get into it. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Remember, it doesn't cost you a single thing. Okay, and so with that all being said, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr_A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. And if you don't like what the queen is cooking, why are you here? Okay, all right, hell no is in the house. Nita's in Mike's world. Juju B said the queen is queening. Thank you. Chris B is here. Original Copper American Sun Energy. All right, let's get into it. Nina Ware, Yaya in her business is here. The lovely T. All right, shout out to my moderators putting in work. We got Precious in the house, Claudette, Deronda, Bobby is here. Okay. Lillian X, above all that drama, Softly Love. L is here. The Crazy Beach Aries, Red Wine Entertainment. Sandra is here. All right. Let's get into it. Nubian Cutie 2. Battle X is up in the house. Will Justice. All right. Beauty with Braids is here. All right. Nessie X, April, G from the land. Okay. So let's get this party started, honey. And so, hey, Priscilla. All right. So that I've been said, honey, Kamala's sister, hey, Will, Buckhorse DC, Sunshine, Rashid in the house. Okay, listen, Kamala's sister, she threw a pro-black Diwali party. Okay. That's what she did. She threw this in a swing state for Kabam. And I want y'all to pay attention. And Trump wasn't invited, in case you missed it. And so basically, for those of you who don't know what a Diwali is, okay, that's a festival giving thanks, and the one, it celebrates the presence of light in Hindu lives, okay? It celebrates the victory of light over darkness, all right? And, you know, they have food and partying and all of that, okay? So basically, it's like a holiday. And so with that all being said, Kamala's sister kickstarted one in the swing state. All right, it was pro-black. So let's get into it. While campaigning for Harris Walz's campaign, Vice President Kamala Harris's sister, Maya Harris, stopped by a Diwali party in this Western swing state to celebrate one of the biggest Hindu festivals a little more than a week before Election Day. Now, Maya Harris spoke to about 100 supporters about her late mother, Dr. Shamala Gopalan, who immigrated to the U.S. in 1958 at the age of 19. At that time, it was virtually unheard of for a young woman to travel that distance on her own, according to Harris. And she describes their mother as fierce and courageous. She says she came to this country alone, but she wasn't alone. Okay, this is what she says. Now, Harris visited. I'm going to put some pictures up on the screen in just a second. Now, Harris visited with Indian Americans in Arizona to try to mobilize this group of voters who are the second largest immigrant voting bloc in the U.S. Okay, with razor-thin margins in this year's presidential contest, both parties have increasingly attempted to court Indian American voters, especially in swing states like Arizona. Okay, and so with that all being said, I find it all interesting because Kabaki said that she was in fact a Baptist. Didn't Kamala say that she was a Baptist, that she was raised in a Baptist church? Well, I have several questions because she celebrates the Hindu traditions, right? So please pay attention. So I'm saying, now goes on to say, and so she's trying to court these Indian American voters. Now, Maya Harris recalled her mother teaching her sister an important lesson through lived experiences, a phrase that the vice president also often uses, saying that we all have so much more in common than what separates us. We can have different experiences, but the thing that really does bind us all together is a desire to be free, to fulfill our God-given potential. Kamala is someone who is fighting for an inclusive democracy where no matter who you are or where you're from, you have opportunities that you deserve. South Asians for Harris Arizona co-director Simi Singh hosted the Diwali
get together on Friday evening in Scottsdale. Now, the smell of marigold flowers, known as these are known to bring luck and fortune in the Hindu culture. Okay, this filled the courtyard to mark the celebration of good over evil. They say it's been a hot and laborious month. This is what Singh said in a post on Instagram, saying, "Not sure how I went from dreaming about absolutely ensuring that VP Harris would win my state of Arizona to welcoming her sister to my front door. That's the miracle of this movement, showing up and doing something," she says. Okay, and so then another attendee told the Desert News that she felt moved by Harris's words, adding that her mother's story is relatable to many Indian American families. She's relatable to many Indian American families. Let me say it again. She's relating this to Indian American families because Black people, we cannot relate to her. Okay, please pay attention. Now, everyone in attendance was dressed in the nines in saris, kurtas, and big smiles. All right, Singh sent a text message Monday that she was invited to President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden's White House Diwali party. So they even had one at the White House for Kabami, okay? A Diwali party. Now, a tradition marked by several modern presidencies, including that of George Bush, Barack Obama, and even Donald Trump. Now, the White House embraced the spirit of the Diwali this year with traditional live music, diyas, and or oil lamps and marigold flowers. During the programming, U.S. Surgeon General Vivek Muthri grew emotional as he spoke about his family who immigrated to the U.S. and persevered through hardships when he was young, saying, "I know the darkness can sometimes feel overwhelming. I know that. I felt that myself. I have also seen people creating during the hardest of times, and that is the message of Diwali," he says. The attendees also saw a video message from the Sunita Suni Williams, an Indian American astronaut. She recorded her Diwali greetings as she travels 17,500 miles per hour on the International Space Station while experiencing 16 sunrises and sunsets each day. Now, in his remarks, Biden praised the Indian Americans in his administration, including Harris and Murthy, both the first of South Asian descent to hold their offices. Let me say that again. In his remarks, Biden praised the Indian Americans in his administration, including Harris and Murthy, both the first of South Asian descent to hold their offices. He called Harris smart, tough, and trusted, saying that she has more experience than the other guy, former President Donald Trump. Now, polls show that Harris and Trump are practically tied in Arizona and other swing states, and every vote counts. A large majority of Indian Americans were loyal to the Democratic Party, but that is shifting according to the latest Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, okay, from a survey. They say, for starters, 47% of respondents identified as Democrats this year, down from 56% in 2020. 6 in 10 registered Indian American voters say they plan to vote for Harris, while 32% say they will cast their ballot for Trump, up from 22% in 2020. The poll indicates inflation is the top concern of the voters. Okay, so y'all thought I was serious when I said she held a pro-Black Diwali? Yeah, it was clearly not pro-Black. There was no Black people even invited, so please pay attention. But for someone who's supposed to be a Baptist and who's Black, she sure does celebrate her Indian culture, her Hindu culture. All right, please pay attention. And at the end of the day, there was nary a Black person there. So let's keep talking. Now, as the Deseret News has previously reported, conservative Indian Americans often show appreciation for the Trump era tax cuts and Jobs Act of 2017 that offered business and corporation tax breaks. Now, Harris's multiracial identity, she is half Jamaican and half Indian. That often comes under scrutiny. Now, keep in mind, Jamaican doesn't mean Black. Her father's from Jamaica, but he's clearly said that he's Irish, okay, and Indian. But let me continue. So, as Rupa Subramanya, a writer for the Free Press, noted in a post on X, formerly known as Twitter, says Harris often talks about her mother's story, but never her own connections. At the end of the day, She says she often talks about her mother's story and sometimes her connections to her Indian heritage. Now, her close relatives on her mother's side flew in from India and joined her on stage the evening she became presidential candidate. Her first and middle names are Hindu names. Okay, same with her sister Maya Lakshmi and niece Meena for short. And her name is actually Minashi. Okay, this is what Subramanya wrote. Yet in this election, she seems to have completely disowned her Indian Hindu heritage and fully embraced an African American heritage, which comes across as deeply inauthentic. I want y'all to pay attention. I want y'all to pay attention. Whatever you may think of Trump, he's always been himself. This is what an Indian American is saying about Kamala. I want you to pay attention, okay? Because they know that she ain't blackity black, 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 okay? They know that she ain't blackity black, black, okay? Please pay attention. Okay, they said she's not even embraced her Indian heritage this time because she's trying to act as though she's embracing African American heritage, and it comes off as deeply inauthentic. Whatever you have to say about Trump, he's always been himself. And that's what I've been telling you guys. We know who Trump is. I don't have to spend a majority of my time online talking about Trump, because we already know who Trump is. We've seen him. We know it. Harris, on the other hand, we don't know who the hell she is because she's a chameleon. And she's always changing her accent. She's always changing how she identifies herself. She's just always changing is all I'm saying. She's always changing her mind. Are you for fracking or you're not for fracking? Do you want to ban it or you don't? You sued somebody about it. Okay. You want the wall or you don't want the wall? She was against the wall, laughed at Trump about the wall. Now she wants to continue to build a wall. She worked at McDonald's. She didn't work at McDonald's. We're going to get into that in a second. Now, the vice president will return to Phoenix on Thursday to hold a rally with Mexican band Los Tigres del Norte, okay, as a part of her campaign's When We Vote, We Win tour. What happened to all the joy that she had? Early in the morning joy, okay? Joy cometh in the morning and all that joy. I have questions. Now, supporters at her rally in Texas over the weekend heard from Beyonce, and later this week, Harris will stand alongside Bruce Springsteen. All righty there. So I want y'all to pay attention because I'm sorry, but Kamala's just a liar who lies, quite frankly. Okay? She's just a liar who lies. Now, with that all being said, let's talk about this McDonald's story because there's proof and receipts that the picture that they put out trying to prove and debunk Trump's campaign, people that she actually worked at McDonald's. Well, that's been proven that it's a whole fraud. And I'm sorry, but it was Photoshopped.
So I'm sure most of us by now have seen this picture because the left is fucking passing around like fucking joint. But I just saw another video talking about, oh, this photo's Photoshopped, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, I'm going to go look and do my own research. Y'all check this shit out. So this is reaganfamily.ca. It's a little family website. And up there at the top, you see that Suzanne Bernier memorial page? Passed away back in 2007. Yeah, click on that. Which brings you to this, which is her memorial page. And you scroll down and you get down here to Memories of Suzanne. And if you click on the growing years, you literally see this picture. McDonald's swing manager. Y'all, it's the same motherfucking picture. It's the same picture. It is the exact same picture. Photoshopped with Kamala's face. Look at that shit, y'all. I mean, come on. But the left is passing this around like it's some kind of aha gotcha moment. Y'all are liars just like
Kabami. Okay, just like Kabami, but they always talking about Trump lying. Now let's talk about these comments that the comedian made at Trump's rally. So I did finally get a chance to go back and watch the footage of the jokes that he told. Now here's what somebody in my family told me. Somebody in my family said the man who was telling these jokes, I forget his name, Tim somebody, I believe. But anyway, the person in my family was telling me that he only made jokes about black and brown people, not about his own people. Well, that was a lie. He told jokes about the Jews, the Palestinians. Okay, he told jokes about white folk. He told jokes about black folk. Okay, now what he said about that watermelon, I didn't find funny. I also didn't find it funny about Puerto Rico and the trash. But there is a whole lot of trash in Puerto Rico. With that all being said, his jokes were a bit tasteless at the end of the day. But let us keep in mind that he's the one who told those jokes. Okay, he's the one who told them. But hold on, I got something for you. See, I'm about to show y'all something because I keep telling you guys, some of y'all don't want to hear it. Some of y'all don't want to hear it. Support the arts. Some of y'all don't want to hear about it. Okay. Miss J said, yes, he did. He didn't discriminate. Exactly. Exactly. Now, the joke about the watermelon, let me tell you all what he said. And I find it interesting because Kabami didn't say anything about the watermelon joke. She was concerned about what he said about the Puerto Ricans, who she's trying to court for votes. But he said he saw a black guy in the audience and he said something along the lines of, he said, that's a black guy. He said, what's that on your head? Is that a lampshade? And then, excuse me, then he laughed and said, that's my friend. That's my buddy. He was at my house last night. We were carving watermelons. Okay, that's what he said. Now, that's what he said about the watermelons. Now, with that all being said, Luna says all comedians joke about all races. Exactly. So what's the big deal? Well, the Democrats are holding on by a thread. And so now at this point, they have to do all they can do. So when all else fails, let's go back to saying Trump's a racist, okay? Let's just do it. Now, did Trump denounce it? Well, Trump didn't apologize, but here's what he did say. Let's get into it. Likes up, everyone please like and share. But like I keep telling you guys, Kamala does the same stuff that she accuses Trump of, because we're going to get into that. I got receipts today and I got time. TC Dan says, I honestly didn't even really find him funny other than one or two lines. He just isn't that funny to me. Yeah, he wasn't that funny, but I think maybe he's one of those people because he usually does roast. And so maybe he's good at roast. I don't know. Maybe he should stick to that. Okay? And so with that all being said, let's go to what Trump had to say. Will Justice said a lot of so-called comedians aren't funny at all. You got that right, beloved. There's only a few that make me laugh these days, but please pay attention.
We have this big event at Madison Square Garden. It went on for hours. I don't even know if you were there for the whole thing. I don't know what time you got there. I was told and made aware that you had no idea about this comedian who made comments.
I have no idea who he is. Somebody said there was a comedian that joked about Puerto Rico or something, and I have no idea who he was. Never saw him, never heard of him, and don't want to hear of him. But I have no idea. They put a comedian in, which everybody does. You throw comedians in. You don't vet them and go crazy. It's nobody's fault. But somebody said some bad things. Now, what they've done is taken somebody that has nothing to do with the party, has nothing to do with us, said something, and they try and make a big deal. But I don't know who it is. I don't even know who put him in. And I can't imagine it's a big deal. I've done more.
It is absolutely wild.
More for Puerto Rico than any president.
I'm sorry, I cut that off a little too soon. Sorry, but Trump said he's done more for Puerto Rico than any president that he can think of. That's what he said. Hold on, I'm going to go back to it. Let y'all see that. Hold on. I cut it off too quick. Durana said Trump can't control that what grown people say. Exactly. But this is how you know the Dems. And then here's the thing. I was online and I was looking at some of the comments by the foolish Kabamians, and they were saying stuff like, oh, for all of y'all who are voting for Trump, I know y'all have to feel so embarrassed. Embarrassed for what? First of all, I'm not voting for Trump, but mind you, I think I'll vote for Jill Stein if she's on the ballot here. But the bottom line is, why should anybody be embarrassed? Okay, I'm sorry, say what? No one who's voted for Trump should be any more embarrassed than anybody who voted for Biden. Okay, and that's just what it is. Now, you can get mad all you want.
So you have this big event at Madison Square Garden. It went on for hours. I don't even know if you were there for the whole thing. I don't know what time you got there. I was told and made aware that you had no idea about this comedian.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there because we've already heard that part. So basically, Trump's saying that he didn't know who the man was and that he didn't pick the man or what have you. Now, he may be lying. I don't know. But at the end of the day, here's the thing. They wanted Trump to denounce the man, so he has done it. Now, what are they going to do? Okay, what they got now? But hold on. But let's talk about Kabami. Oh, no. First, before we go to Kabami, let's go to Biden. Because Biden, here's the thing. I find it interesting that people got so mad because the comedian told a joke and said that Puerto Rico was an island of trash. But nobody's saying nothing about Biden, who's a president, a sitting president, called citizens garbage. That's what he said. He said the people supporting Trump are garbage. And I find it also interesting. He's not talking about me, but at the end of the day, I find it all nefarious. Please pay attention. Okay, let me just pull this up real quick. Okay, here we go. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Biden out here calling people garbage, and people think that's perfectly fine. Now, here's the thing. I want you all to pay attention to the double standard, because they act as though Trump is the one who told the darn joke. They act as though the words came out of Trump's mouth. But here's the thing. When Biden literally calls people trash, and he's a sitting president, nobody is saying nary a word. What do y'all have to say about that? This is okay, but I'm going to show y'all something a little bit worse after this. After these messages, so please stay tuned, okay? Because I got time today. Now let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Let me put an overlay on here just in case.
Donald Trump has no character. He doesn't give a damn about the Latino community. He's failed businessman. He only cares about the billionaire friends he has and accumulating wealth for those at the top. He says immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country. Give me a break. He wants to do away with the birthright citizenship. Who the hell has said that in the last 100 years? And just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable, and it's un-American. It's totally contrary to everything we've done, everything we've been.
Woo, honey. Biden called people trash and garbage, honey. A president said that. Now, why aren't they making that into a big deal? So that's okay? It's okay for him to call citizens garbage? At the same time demonizing Trump for jokes that someone else told. I want y'all to pay attention, but hold on, honey, because I got time today. Okay, let's get into it. Because I'm not going to ever stop calling out Kabami, even if she becomes president. Okay, I want y'all to pay attention your night. Yeah, right? So let's talk about it. Now, here you have George Lopez. Or Jorge Lopez, right? George Lopez spoke at Kamala's rally. And let's get to it, because I got something to tell y'all about this.
In this room, this is what America looks like. Enough lies. Donald Trump said he was going to build a wall, and George Lopez said, you better build it in one day, because if you leave that material out there overnight, he also said that he was going to get Mexico to pay for the wall. I wish you would have asked me.
Okay, so now the point of me showing you that was this. Now let's get into it. So if they want to blame Trump for what that comedian said, well, let's find out why Kabami had George Lopez speak at her rally when George Lopez has talked trash about black folk during his comedy. Let's get into it, okay? Let's see what they got to say about this, because I hear crickets. I'm going to share my screen so y'all can see it, okay? Because I don't forget nothing, honey. All right, I don't forget nothing. All right, hold on here. What's going on here? Hold on, I guess I got to sign in. So with that all being said, enter my email. Hold on, beloveds. And while I'm doing this, you all, let's have a word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Here we go.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so don't forget you can purchase your 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Look for Lisa Crafts, and you can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, likes up, everyone. Please like and share. It doesn't cost you a thing. Now, I want you all to see this. Okay, this is who Kamala had at her rally. George Lopez faces Twitter rage from an anti-Black joke and lashing out at audience member. I'm sorry, say what? Say what? Since we want to talk about racist jokes, let's get into it. Let's get into it because she had a man who told a racist joke at her rally too. Now, he didn't tell a racist joke there, but he's told a racist joke that made the Black people upset. So let's get into it. George Lopez is trending online in 2017, and no, it's not because there's a George Lopez show revival in works. The comedian is in the middle of a heated Twitter debate after footage was released by TMZ of Lopez telling racially charged jokes from his stand-up performance in Phoenix, and his retort to an audience member's reaction was not the most pleasant. Saying there's still two rules in the effing Latino family. Lopez said at a Sunday night during his set: don't marry somebody Black, and don't park in front of our house. Y'all heard that? I'm sorry, was this worse than the watermelon joke? Because I think it was. Okay, there's two rules in the effing Latino community, Lopez says on a Sunday night during his set: don't marry somebody Black, and don't park in front of our house. Now, when a woman stood up amongst the laughing audience to flip Lopez off, the comedian had some choice words for her. Here it is right here. I'm not going to show the video. Well, matter of fact, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to play it. I'm going to put an overlay on the screen because y'all know TMZ will be quick to strike you for using their content. So I'm going to put an overlay on here with Kabami looking like the clown that she is. Okay.
There's still two rules in the fucking Latinos family. Don't marry somebody Black, and don't park in front of our house. Sit your fucking ass down. Sit your fucking ass down. I'm talking, bitch. Sit your fucking ass down. You pay to see a show. Sit your ass down. You can't take a joke. You're in the wrong motherfucking place. If you can't take a joke, you're in the wrong. So sit your fucking ass down or get the fuck out of here. Sit your fucking ass down or get the fuck out of here. I see you. Okay, take it off fucking out. Motherfucker, you got two choices. Shut the fuck up or get the fuck out. I'll tell you what, I'll make the choice for you. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. I'll make the choice for you. Bye. 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 You can't take a joke, you're in the wrong motherfucking place. Bye. 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 Yo, 4 seats, just open up front. What's up, baby? Hey, what's up?
Okay, so what y'all got to say about that? All right, because I got a whole lot of darn questions. They want to go in about what Trump's comedian said. What about what his ass said and how he was talking to that Black woman? That pissed me the hell off. Okay, the joke, I could have let that slide. But the way he was talking to that woman, I have a whole problem with that. It was very disrespectful, and I haven't liked or listened to George Lopez since. Okay, I haven't listened to him since. That was very disrespectful. Okay, and what he said as a joke, that's absolutely what he damn meant. Please pay attention. But they want to talk about Trump's comedian and act as though Trump said the words himself, and then putting up that video of the Nazis at Madison Square Gardens. Let me tell you something. The Democrats are some low down dirty dogs, and at the end of the day, they think black people are in a boat, beholden to them, that we owe them something. They act like, and here's how you know they believe it. Because they feel like if we don't agree with them, they send people like Barack Obama and Michelle out to try to scold us and to get us back in check. Okay, that's what they do. I will never vote for Kabami. Okay, I'll sit at home on the couch first. I would never vote for that witch, okay, with a B. That's what she is, in my opinion, okay, cosplaying as a black person. And then she got George Lopez. You think she didn't know what George Lopez said? Yeah, she knew what he said, and she's nothing but a hypocrite. The Democrats, period, are hypocrites. And then Joe Biden called people garbage. Joe Biden called people garbage. They're not saying anything about that, but they're mad about a comedian telling a joke. But Joe Biden sat there and called citizens garbage when he's a sitting president. Now, I want y'all to pay attention, because none of the Democrats and none of these Kabamians are saying a damn thing about it. They think it's funny. Okay? They think it's funny. Okay, J&T said, first of all, Queen, I never liked him at all. Never thought he was funny. Okay, he's never been funny. Okay, his show was okay. I used to watch that sometime. But Juju said, not garbage. Yes, that's what he said. How you gonna call somebody garbage, Joe Biden, when your son's a whole crackhead? How you gonna call somebody garbage? Your son is garbage, okay? Your son's garbage. At the end of the day, please pay attention. But I just thought I would let y'all know that. For those of you who didn't know, now you know. And for those of you who forgot, I just refreshing your memory. Okay, so please miss me with it, Democrats. That's what they do. And then they want to say, oh, the people supporting Trump need to be embarrassed. No, their asses need to be embarrassed that they stuck on the Democratic plantation, and that they're so they're so insidiously obtuse and idiotic that they allow the Democrats to paint narratives for them and then tell them how to think. You see, that's what they do. They allow them to New Orleans, Yahuwah's daughter said, like you, Queen, I'm pissed. Okay, exactly. Okay, because at the end of the day, what he said, how he was talking to that black woman, that was very disrespectful. Okay, very disrespectful at the end of the day. Support the Arts said Trump called citizens vermin. At the end of the day, I didn't hear Trump say that. And even if he did, too bad and so sad. Joe Biden is a sitting president. Trump's a candidate. And with that all being said, how dare a president call his citizens garbage? Okay? I'm sorry. I have several questions, okay, as to why nobody's saying a darn thing about that. Now, you all should notice by now how they paint these narratives, the Democrats. They're trying to keep y'all stuck on the plantation. Some people will foolishly still sit there, okay? And then here's the thing. None of us should be surprised that Joe Biden called citizens garbage, because this is the same man who, when he was talking about HIV, he was specifically saying it to black men, while at the same time, there was a whole community of people who don't look like me who had the highest HIV rate in the country. That's a fact. Go look it up. And then he likened black children to roaches. How many times do I have to say it? Okay. And then he was sitting there talking all that trash about a black mayor. Okay, and about his children going to school with us and it being the equivalent of a racial jungle. And Kabami knew it. That's why she called him a whole segregationist in 2019 during the debates. But now she's working with him and she's all tight with him and all of that. At the end of the day, please pay attention. Okay, and you should ask yourselves, how come no black people were invited to that Diwali that they had? Okay, how come no black people were invited to the Diwali? Okay, how come? I have questions at the end of the day. But let's continue. Let's continue. Lights up, everyone, please like and share. So let's talk about it, because let me pull this video up. No, I'm going to get back to that because I got to find my timestamp. But let's talk about why Joe Rogan didn't have her on the show. He said Kabami had a list of demands. Her campaign had a list of demands. So let's get into it. Now, I haven't watched this video, but I saw it this morning. And so I'm just curious as to why Joe Rogan didn't want to go along with the demands that she asked for. What did she want him to do? Ask softball questions, perhaps? I have questions. Let's get into it. Lights up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. I'm going to put an overlay on the screen just in case they show Joe Rogan's podcast. I don't know if they're going to show that or not, because like I said, I haven't watched it.
We just saw former President Trump sit down for a wide-ranging interview with podcast host Joe Rogan. But it's not looking promising that we'll see the same with Vice President Harris. Rogan posting this on X: "For the record, the Harris campaign has not passed on doing the podcast. They offered a date for Tuesday, but I would have had to travel to her, and they only wanted to do an hour. I strongly feel that the best way to do it is in the studio in Austin. My sincere wish is to just have a nice conversation and get to know her as a human being. I really hope we can make it happen." Kaylee, I was struck by, in the episode with Donald Trump, that Joe Rogan's first question off of the bat, he didn't play it, but he referenced The View. When just a couple years ago, Donald Trump was on with the ladies of The View, and they said, "Our friend." There were kisses, there were hugs, there was love. He was running for president then, and he brought up and said, "Wow, the machine has turned against you." And that, I felt, set the scene, set the stage for a very honest, open conversation about how the world sort of went from idolizing Donald Trump, revering him as a character, a main character in the fabric of American society, to somehow, after he actually won the presidency, to turning around and having him in the, to quote Joe Biden, crosshairs.
Yes, and you hit the nail on the head when we talked about Joe Rogan. I forget your exact phrasing, but it was, if you're a listener of curiosity, I know.
Subscriber to curiosity.
Subscriber to curiosity, you listen to Joe Rogan. Kamala should have done this. She was in Texas. There's no reason not to stop by his studios. I had a mom say to me when we were at practice for our daughters, I feel like I've gotten to know Donald Trump through these podcasts. He's not the monster everyone pictures him to be. He's real, he's authentic. And these 3-hour-long episodes give people a chance to see who he is authentically. Why Kamala Harris would miss out on that opportunity, I do not know, but it is indeed a missed opportunity.
And it's hard, Kennedy, because in conjunction with her declining or as yet to accept the invitation, there's also been a lot of slamming, right? We saw coming out of the campaign and CNN analysts saying that those who listen to Joe Rogan need therapy, when, to Kaylee's point, they simply are open to new ideas or to new information or to seeing an old person in a new light other than what the mainstream media might have you think.
And that's what they're saying they want. They're saying that they want to end the division in the country. One of the best ways to do that is through curiosity. And if more people were curious and had conversations with others they disagree with, I think the entire thing would operate better. Our families would come back together. But instead, we're ripped apart by our politics. And Joe Rogan is both consistent and uncompromising. And he wanted her to come to a studio because that's where everybody goes. It's like asking your doctor to have your appendectomy performed at Home Depot. No, it's actually probably best in a surgical center.
Well said.
Noted.
Yeah. Yes. And Bill Hemmer, the other thing is, to everyone's point about the authenticity of podcasts, the relaxed nature, I wonder if that's why it would be so damaging and challenging for Kamala Harris. We saw her on that interview here. Right. She just faked an accent. Yo, she was born in Berkeley and grew up in Canada. Her parents were Berkeley professors. I don't know where that accent came from. There's a little bit of pandering, clearly. Would she fold if it was an hour and 1 minute?
Yeah, no, because Rogan won't fold. He has his parameters. It's 3 hours. It's in my studio in Austin. Last week, when everybody in this building was going, why is Trump in Texas? And yeah, he did an event for Ted Cruz, but I don't necessarily think that Ted Cruz is in danger of losing his Senate. I thought that it was a very wide-ranging conversation. It showed me the breadth of Trump, and Joe Rogan is a fascinating guy. He can talk about a lot.
Well, look, it had legs as news because you had 33 million plus people watching it on one format.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every week.
Okay, so with that all being said, okay, Sandra said Kabami just distanced herself from Biden's comments. Yeah, she's been distancing herself from Biden, period, because she doesn't even really want him campaigning for her because he sounds like a bumbling idiot. Okay, he can barely string together a sentence, not too much different from what she does. Okay, please pay attention. But now there's a Muslim guy who came out and he says some things about Harris and how he was booted from her rally. Now, I don't know why he was booted from the rally, but let's get into it. Let's get into it. And I'm going to put up an overlay Okay, so we can listen to this. Denise said Biden is trying to sink her campaign. Honey, Biden is just an idiot, and so is she. Period, point, and serious. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, here we go.
With a Muslim American Democrat who was ejected from a Kamala Harris rally in Metro Detroit, where Harris was joined by Republican former Congressmember Liz Cheney. Ahmad Ghanim is a Democratic Party activist and former House candidate from Michigan's 11th District.
He joins us now from Oak Park, Michigan, not far from the Harris campaign event, which he was ejected from. The Kamala Harris campaign has since said it regrets his removal. Thank you so much for being with us, Ahmad Ghanim. In these few minutes that we have left, take us.
Let me just tell you guys something. Yeah, they're saying they regret it now because they know that they
were invited to, and explain what happened.
Thank you for having me. So basically, I went like anyone else. I was dressed in a suit going to this event, stood in line. It was a small event by invite only, 200 people at there, less than 200 people. I went through securities like the airport security where they have to check everything. They take even the signs that you have from the campaign. So nobody had any signs. You only have your wallet and that's it. And I was cleared by security. I was seated like anyone. I was sitting there for like 10 or 15 minutes, just trying to answer some emails. I did not engage with anybody in conversation because they seat you randomly with people you don't know around you. And after 10 minutes, a lady came and told me, can you follow me? And I thought probably they are changing my seat. I said, that's fine. I followed her. And at the door, I found 2 police officers waiting for me and said, they don't want you here at the event. If you either leave now or I put you in a police car. And that was shocking to me with it. So I was sitting there and I did not do anything. I did nothing. And now I'm threatened to be arrested or have to leave. And I was just asking, I told him, okay, I'm going to leave. I just want to know, why are you kicking me out? And he said, it is not me. It's the venue that's kicking you out. So I asked him, why would the venue kick me out? The venue, they don't know anything about me. It's just the venue. He said, I don't know. And the lady that escorted me out, she ended the conversation. I said, this is not a conversation anymore. You have to be escorted out. So I didn't want to escalate the situation, and I just left.
And Ahmad, can you say whether since you've left, have you heard anything further about why you were removed?
No. The campaign issued a brief statement saying they regret what happened. They gave me a call. I thanked them for the call, but I said, I want to know why was I removed? Because apology without accountability is not an apology. So far, they did not provide any information on or any reason why they removed me.
So, Ahmad Ghanim, you were a congressional candidate. You didn't win the primary. You got 15,000 votes. After you were kicked out of the Kamala Harris event, the Trump campaign approached you to make an ad?
That's correct. They approached me to make an ad against Haley, against Vice President Harris. And they said this ad will be aired everywhere, and CNN everywhere, but we want you to film it. And I said, no, I cannot do that.
Why do you feel that? I mean, of course, President Trump, well known when his first acts in office as president was the Muslim ban. But if you can explain what you're demanding now of the Kamala Harris campaign.
I'm demanding a reason why they ejected me from the campaign without anything. I didn't have any Palestinian kufiya. I didn't have any pens. I didn't have any signs. I was not planning to protest. I just was sitting there. This is my city where I ran. Everyone in this city, they know me because I ran there. I was canvassing door to door there. My ads were there. My signs were there. I actually spoke at the Democratic Club in Royal Oak, Michigan. So it's not like I'm a random person. They know me very well. And there is a reason why they ejected me. So I want to know what is the reason. And for me, when people talk about just one issue voter, it's not about Gaza. Gaza is far away from me. It's a very important issue for me. But now it's important. What's more important? Do I have place in this party or not? Is this the party of diversity, of inclusion, or Muslims and Arab don't have room anymore in this party?
I find it also nefarious. Now, surely it was Cabanis and her team who had him thrown out. It wasn't the venue. The venue could care less unless he was causing some sort of disturbance, which he clearly wasn't. And then the Inkwell says, no ad needed. These interviews broadcast the story. And then they had the nerve, right, to ask him to do an advertisement. Okay, that was just to try to save face. Now, what's that all about? Did they think that he was a terrorist? Did they profile him? Because that's what it sounds like. It sounds like they profiled this man. But, you know, he got treated like he was black, says Bobby Wright. Exactly. Claudette said it was Kabami. Well, of course it was, beloved. Absolutely. Okay, absolutely. Okay, Sissy says that lady should not have had her ace there. That is exactly what the Democrats think about us as black people. Okay, so with that all being said, this is all nefarious. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. But now let's go to Tavis Smiley and what he had to say about Barack Obama. Okay, likes up, everyone, please like and share. I am going to be putting an overlay on the screen just for FYI. Now, someone sent me this. I haven't listened to it, but they sent this with a message saying that Barack Obama doesn't care about black people. And I already knew that. Let's see what this fool had to say. Okay, let's get into it.
Don't do this. Don't do that. No, we ain't going to St. Louis with Michael. We're not doing that. He is above race. He's transcended race. We ain't talking about.
Hold on. Let me just take it back a little bit.
At each one of these points, and we just got, ran into a brick wall, and it was primarily because of the people he had surrounded himself with, who he's now sent over to Kamala Harris's campaign. But the sense
in Pelican Bay, when I get you just live here. Yeah, that's right. You better walk away. Go on, walk away. Of late. Has been on a media tour, Ashley, as you well know, appearances on 60 Minutes, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, Howard Stern, The View, the list goes on. Before I get to all of that in detail, let me just ask you what you have made so far of the way she's handled this media tour. There was push, as you know, against her that she wasn't doing enough interviews, wasn't getting out there enough. Well, she answered that question with a whole litany of conversations. I just ran down some of them. What's your sense of how she did or has done?
Well, I think she's been doing spectacular, but if you don't mind, I'd love to step back to your opening monologue about my former boss, Barack Obama.
Sure.
Can I just tell you what I do appreciate about you most is that you bring all of the receipts. And I think a lot of it people were unaware of and probably hadn't taken stock of. And when you hear it back to back to back to back, it paints this really clear picture. The one thing I wanted to add is you're absolutely right about the sentiment that was within the White House. I was on the 08 campaign and then transitioned eventually into the Obama White House. And there was a sense, a clear message that was sent to us on the staff that Obama is above race, that he is ascended race, and we are not to talk about him. I mean, this is the unspoken part of it all. And I'm just going to say it out loud, which is, we are not to talk about him as a black man. In fact, I remember when I did an event with Nas down in Norfolk State, and they were like, make sure you don't have Nas talk about his song about having a black president. Like, we don't want to associate ourselves with that. And that really bled into the psyche and the thinking of the people around Barack Obama, and it affected the decisions that were made. Now, when you think that the president is above race and therefore he is above black, that influences everything he does. And so I remember being in those rooms begging for more attention after Michael Brown died, right? A visit to the family, a call to the family. I mean, doing more at each one of these points. And we just got ran into a brick wall. And it was primarily because of the people he had surrounded himself with, who he's now sent over to Kamala Harris's campaign. But the sentiment there was, we're above that. And so any concerns of the community, we're above even addressing. in a lot of ways. And so that was really hurtful as, you know, a person who's Black first and a woman second and a Democrat way down the line. But so I'm glad you actually put all of that stuff together, because it really is important as we talk about what kind of a leader we want. Now, if we transition to the vice president,
Hold that thought. We ain't gonna transition that fast. I did not want. So as you can see, I've been at this a long time, Ashley, as you well know, and it is not my way to put up on people to comment on my own commentaries. I did not want to put you in a spot. Didn't want to put you in a box. As you saw, I went straight to Kamala and did not intend to pull you into my opining today. But since you went there,
no, but you were absolutely right.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the last one through the door.
He was,
well,
yeah.
Explain that, please, sir. Right?
Yeah, but
Then made an argument. And then made an argument, not to be disrespectful, all due respect to my former boss, but then it made an argument against her that was made against him.
That's right.
Which is that maybe she's not ready.
That's
and I'm
right.
like, are you really using that same argument?
That's right.
I thought, okay, sorry, go ahead.
You
weigh in.
You keeping it real, Ashley. That's what this program is all about. We are trying to tell the truth, speak the truth to the powerful and to the powerless, but that's what it's about. Seeking the truth, speaking the truth. And too many Negroes listening right now even are still in their feelings. I'm looking at text messages.
Okay, so with that all being said, now you heard that what you said about an Obama. We already should have known Obama doesn't care nothing about Black folk. Okay, please pay attention. He clearly made that abundantly clear as far as I'm concerned. Okay, he made that abundantly clear as far as I'm concerned. Now I want to play this other video. This young man, I enjoy his commentary, so I'm going to share my screen. Let me put Kabami back up. Support the Art said, where's my clown suit for Trump? First of all, I didn't make this clown suit for Kabami. Somebody else did. I just saw it and liked it. Now, with that all being said, let's get into it, because I really wanted to hear this young man's name is Devory Darkins. Okay, I listen to him quite often. Follow his channel if you like, because he has very good political information, and I like his views and opinions on Kabami specifically. Okay.
Made comparisons between a rally that happened at Madison Square Garden in 1939 with neo-Nazis or Nazis back then. Do you see the
fast forward?
Harris and her campaign all losing it because of some comments that a comedian made at this historic Madison Square Garden Trump rally. So what we're going to do is talk about some of these stories and definitely fact check a couple of things, because
See, I like his commentary. Let me just show you all who this young man is. Okay, that's him right there. Devory Darkins, okay? Follow his channel for the latest updates.
The media likes to take anything that is coming from the Trump campaign or Trump himself and turn it into something that it is not. Let's start with the actual comments from the comedian that got a lot of backlash.
Why doesn't your antivirus protect you against online threats? Because it can't. Your social security number?
Listen.
A lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there. Again, normally I don't follow the national anthem, everybody.
All right. So this comedian, he has his own show called Kill Tony. That's number one. Number two, he's also part of this huge Netflix hit that was the roasting of Tom Brady, where he made much more offensive jokes. If you are looking for someone to truly roast a celebrity and not hold anything back, he would probably be at the top of the list. So it only begs the question, was it a smart play to have him there at the rally, or was it a bad idea? In the bigger picture of things, it wasn't a bad idea because he had a lot of jokes that were funny. And then we know we're dealing with the opposing party, the Democratic Party, who are all about being politically correct, highly sensitive to anything that they would say is offensive. Okay, so now what we're going to do is play you some of the meltdown, and it's just endless. So I'm going to just take the best highlights that I've seen that are really deranged, and then we're going to follow up with obviously debunking the craziness. Let's start with what CNN had to say during the rally. Watch this.
It's worth noting
that while we showed you that joke about the pile of garbage that comedian made, he also said something else about Latino voters that I can't play because I know a lot of you are probably at the breakfast table with your little kids. And if we played it, you'd have to shut us off because it was so incredibly crude that it's a family program and we're just.
Now, I want you all to pay attention to how she is clearly painting a narrative, okay, at the end of the day. She is clearly painting a narrative, acting like what was said was so bad, so nefarious, that it can't be played on the evening news. Please pay attention. Okay, please pay attention. Mrs. Spicer said, so you are a Trump supporter? At the end of the day, whether I'm a Trump supporter or not, why should that concern you? Okay, as long as you know who you're supporting. Okay, I have already said a myriad of times that I plan to vote for Jill Stein if she's on the ballot in Georgia. Okay, if she's on the ballot in Georgia. Now, with that all being said, let's not worry about who's supporting who. Let's just worry about who we're supporting ourselves. Okay, let's continue.
It's not going to do it.
I didn't know that CNN was a family program. Did you? I find that to be funny because all day long they're playing Hitler and all this other offensive stuff. So now all of a sudden they don't want to play it. Now, really quick, if you don't think CNN is not a family program, MSNBC is definitely not one. I want you to look at the screen at the bottom and how they labeled the rally.
But that jamboree happening right now, you see it there on your screen, in that place is particularly chilling because in 1939, more than 20,000 supporters of a different fascist leader, Adolf Hitler, packed the garden for a so-called pro-America rally, a rally where speakers voiced anti-Semitic rhetoric from a stage draped with Nazi banners.
Now, I showed you all this the other day, how they tried to compare it to Nazis at the Madison Square Gardens. The Democrats are just desperate and they're clearly pressed because that event was historic that Trump had, and it was also sold out. And you all saw the crowd. Kabami could never. Okay, nobody wants to sit there and listen to her spew an hour of word salad and foolishness. Okay? And let's not forget how she had Quavo up there speaking for her, dressed like a female with that black lace on, looking all zesty and stuff, and then had Kelly Rowland come out with Beyonce holding hands, wearing a 3 times too big suit, looking like Beetlejuice. Okay, what's going on there? Why didn't she have Jay-Z come out with his wife? But she had Kelly come out holding her hand and dressed like a whole dude. Y'all know what they're pushing. Okay, please pay attention. And she couldn't go to the border, but she had the nerve to go to Africa to try to tell them how to run their stuff. Okay, please pay attention. But let's continue.
All right. Now, before we go any further, I'm going to give you guys some facts here because I have it here on my screen, and I want you guys to remember this as we go throughout this video. Who are all the presidential candidates or presidents who have held convention or events at Madison Square Garden? Let me give it to you, okay? Ronald Reagan is one. Jimmy Carter, number 2. Let's see here. Donald Trump, obviously. JFK. Those are just the 4 that I could find. I tried searching on Google, and of course, Google manipulates what comes back in the results. It won't even want to answer my question, which is funny. But anyways, yeah, I think that's important to know. Okay, so we've talked about this at length. Okay, that type of messaging is not going to win Kamala Harris the election, but don't tell MSNBC that because they're all in, right? They're going to do whatever they can.
Let me stop right there for a second because Leon said Hitler got everything from America. All his tactics. Exactly. And thank you for bringing that up. Because he absolutely did. Hitler said, in fact, that the tactics that he used, he learned it from how America treats its Negroes. Okay? That's what he said. So they're talking about Hitler, but he learned it from them. So what does that say about them? Okay? Please pay attention. Bunch of hypocrites.
And to label Trump a Nazi, which, again, is highly offensive, not even to Trump. I'm talking about people who actually had family members who were a part of that era. But anyways, I digress. So the crying continues on MSNBC. Watch.
I think a lot of people are seeing that rally at Madison Square Garden, seeing all those people. Doesn't mean he's going to win the race. But my point is it's discouraging that so many people would gather and rally to hate speech in America, that it's discouraging and it hurts. that people who have family in Puerto Rico, who are Puerto Rican Americans, who are American citizens, are hearing hate like that. It's discouraging.
All right. She looked like she was about to cry, unfortunately, because, I keep saying this. If Trump wins, there will be a mental health crisis. I mean, it's very sad for people out there that they look.
Yeah, in the event that Trump wins, there absolutely will be a mental health crisis, people. There will be an overload of people entering hospitals due to having something known as TDS, and it's known as Trump derangement syndrome. Many people have it, unfortunately, and they would be very sick, okay, to the point of needing to be hospitalized, okay, if in fact Trump wins. But I think that Kabami's going to win because the fix is already in, like I've been telling you all for months, in my opinion.
Literally hang on every word that comes out of Trump's mouth. And by the way, that the comment that they're really all triggered over didn't even come out of Trump's mouth. So I find it funny that they're saying Trump said it. They insinuate that, but really that's not what happened. But anyways, wow, instead of focusing on why people should vote for Kamala Harris, they are so wet over Trump. And so I just think it's going to lose her this election. Okay. This was not a Nazi rally. I thought that was idiotic at best, ignorant. This was not in the name of hate speech. You had Dr. Phil on the stage. I don't think this was a hate speech rally. Okay. So there's that. And so MSNBC, they took another further step and they brought AOC on to give her take. And let me give you a warning. She's just unhinged. Watch.
See the breadcrumbs and the puzzle pieces that are being put together by the Republican Party right now, even the way that they are dropping polls, the number of polls, the way that they are trying to outnumber Republican skewed polls, and the way that they're undermining elections, mail-in ballots. We're also seeing a widely reported incident of a manipulated video about burned, an attack or ripped up ballots in Pennsylvania that was proved to be fraudulent. All of this is exactly a replay of what Donald Trump did on January 6th. We don't have to think about if this is what happens. This is their playbook that they have used that led to the deaths of multiple people on January 6th. This led to one of the largest attacks in America.
Now, let me stop right there because I want you all to pay attention to how they continue to say the same old talking points as if we all didn't witness January the 6th, as if we all didn't see it for ourselves. Now, what the Democrats engage in all the time, every election, specifically this one, is what I like to call fear-mongering. This is what they do. Oh, Trump, Project 2026. But at the end of the day, I'm sorry, say what? Who is the one who got endorsed by the people who created Project 2025? I'm sorry, did I say 26? Project 2025. Okay, Kabami. She got endorsed by them. But let's continue.
American history on the American Capitol, on U.S. soil. And it was done by exactly this rhetoric.
I just have to say this really quick. I joined the military because of 9/11. I find it so disrespectful that they keep saying this is the biggest attack on American soil. Are you forgetting 9/11, lady, where people literally died, thousands, and like even more after the fact? What are you talking about? All right, I know it's painful listening to people like that, but I want to kind of tell this entire story and how crazy the media is reacting to this rally. And of course, they're not going to report the facts, right? So here's Kamala Harris reacting to the rally as well and supporting the idea that this was a Nazi rally. Watch.
One follow-up to your remarks about President Trump's rally last night. Some people who watched that made comparisons between a rally that happened at Madison Square Garden in 1939 with neo-Nazis or Nazis back then. Do you see those comparisons? And can you also expand on what he said and what you said yesterday about Puerto Rico?
Donald Trump this is not new about him, by the way. What he did last night is not a discovery. It is just more of the same and maybe more vivid than usual. Donald Trump spends full time trying to have Americans point their finger at each other, fans the fuel of hate and division, and that's why people are exhausted with him.
Yeah, so I have a new word for Kamala Harris. She's a walking contradiction, okay? So you say that he is the person creating divisiveness and hate, and that's why people are exhausted from him. But we keep hearing from undecided voters, independents, and even Democrats that are exhausted of your closing message, where you are divisive and hateful towards Trump by calling him Adolf Hitler. Tell me how that makes sense. And don't try to pull the whole politician response. Well, I'm not saying it. I'm just repeating what John Kelly said. John Kelly is the one that's saying it. We're not stupid, okay? You're regurgitating a talking point, right? And it's one that in a fair world, you would be condemned for even bringing up, because it's interesting that when conservatives bring up the Nazis and what happened, they get a lot of backlash. But when you on the left bring that up, and as long as it's attached to Trump, oh, it's okay. Now, Kamala Harris, she still has a boss, Sleepy Joe Biden, and he had some words for Trump as well. Watch.
Am I Racist is now streaming on Daily Wire Plus.
Understood.
Where do I go from here as an individual?
Can you come here and comment on former President Trump's rally yesterday? He was saying a bunch of stuff about immigrants.
It's simply embarrassing. It's beneath any president, but that's what we're getting used to. That's why this election is so important. You know, most of the presidential scholars I've spoken to talk about the single most consequential thing about a president's character.
I find it interesting because he said the single most consequential thing about a president's character, but he literally called his own citizens garbage because they're not voting or supporting who he wants us to. Please pay attention. Okay, he's garbage and so is his crackhead son, but let's continue.
Character. And he puts that in question every time he opens it.
Mr. President, all right, so Joe Biden, he doesn't know what he's saying, okay? It's all the same stuff, you know, that we hear from him about Trump. And, you know, his problem right now is him and Kamala Harris are not even on the same page. I mean, he's trying to do rallies for her that she's not even present for, doesn't even mention. And it's just interesting how crazy that dynamic is entirely. But anyways, so that's what his comments were, which are nothing. And then that takes us to what Byron Donalds had to say, because he was one of these speakers and he is black. And so if it was a Nazi rally, why would he be there?
Was there the entire time. So to the New York Daily News, is it a racist rally if you have a black man from Florida who's originally from New York speaking at the rally? I don't think so. This is the problem with most media today. They're too busy trying to fearmonger everything, except it's instead of actually talking about the facts and the substance. It was a great rally last night. Donald Trump obviously spoke. Did he say something that was off color? No, he did not. I spoke. Did I say something off color? No, I did not. Eric Trump, Laura Trump, Don Trump Jr., Elon Musk, Howard Lutnick. Did they say anything that was off color? No, they did not.
Distanced himself from the comedian who was there and the comments that he made.
I didn't agree with the comedian said. None of us did. When it came out, we were all like,
distanced himself.
Yeah, of course. We were all like, wait, what? Who? Did that get up? No. Nobody agreed with that. Nobody.
But it was okay. So he made a phenomenal point. Before I get to that, do us a favor. If you're getting value from this video, like, share, and subscribe to this channel. If you want to support us further, go to the link in the description below, grab yourself a t-shirt or buy us a cup of coffee. Now, what the media is doing at this point, some people would call it fear porn. Okay. Everything is about fear. Fear, fear, fear. You should be scared of Donald Trump because he is Hitler, et cetera, et cetera. Like I stated, and you guys already know this, it isn't going to work. Okay. It just is not going to work. And you think these people, they're smart enough to realize this, but I think it's a great example of human behavior. They're so triggered. They're so emotionally involved in trying to stop Trump that they're not spending the energy they need on the message that will win Kamala Harris this election. Now, what I find to be interesting is not everybody in the media had 100% negative things to say about this rally. And when I say the media, I'm talking about the Trump deranged media, that is. ABC, Jonathan Karl had this to say.
Look, I was there for about 6 hours yesterday. First thing I've got to say, Madison Square Garden was packed. People waited hours to get in. They sat through hour after hour of this rally. They were fervent in their devotion to all things Trump. Trump has created a movement. There is no doubt. I cannot think of another Republican figure of my lifetime who could have come into a Democratic city like New York and put together anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's really should be the first point of this rally. Okay, but
and that's why their Democrats are mad. That's why Kabami and the Democrats are mad. And that's why they're trying to turn the rally into something nefarious. It was historic and they can't stand it. Please pay attention.
Obviously, they're not going to lead with that. But that was a more factual assessment of what this entire rally was about, even if that comment you yourself found was offensive. If you watched the entire rally, you would say this was nothing short of historic because it was reported by Google that it was one of the top searched things on that day. So as far as the Trump campaign goes, this is a knockout win, because remember, I told you guys what the Trump campaign wants to continue to do, because you can't buy this type of attention. What he wants to do up to election day is dominate the media. And some of it's going to be bad, but a lot of it's going to be good. And if they continue to take the bait by reporting that he's a Nazi and all this other stuff, it actually backfires on the Kamala Harris campaign. Yep. So what they should do is stop giving him attention, but that's not going to happen. Okay, so let's go back to Congressman Byron Donalds, because it wasn't just one clip where he had to set the record straight. It was another clip.
Question for you.
Sure, go ahead.
And this is what I think, to the extent that there are folks who, by the way, may agree with the policies of Trump,
yes,
but don't want to vote for Trump. And those, some of those people. The reason that they don't want to vote for Trump is because they see either in his character or the people who seem to support him seem to be engaged in that or willing to engage in that, right? Because what you don't see, you don't go to other rallies for Harris or see in a Harris rally that kind of vitriol. It just you see. Look, I don't think you do.
Kamala.
First of all, he sounds crazy saying you don't see that kind of vitriol at a Harris rally. She literally had her minions going in on Black people. Okay, D.L. Hughley, Steve Harvey, Roland Swollen Martin. Okay, need I continue? At the end of the day, she literally had these people going in on us. Barack Obama. For anybody who didn't support her, please pay attention.
Harris spends half her time talking about her rival as Hitler. After he's been, there have been attempts on his life, not once, but twice. She's doing it right now. Every Democrat official at these rallies refers to him as Adolf Hitler. You got Hillary Clinton running around there hawking her book that nobody wants to buy, frankly. And she's talking about how this is akin to 1939. Are you out of your mind? You want to talk about rhetoric? Let's compare, but let me go back. We are talking about the comments of a comedian. Right. And everybody's going to forget it in 48 hours. The real joke in America is the terrible policy of Kamala Harris. Let's talk specifically about Puerto Ricans in America today. Puerto Ricans have had to live under the same inflation unleashed by Kamala Harris. And that's not a joke, but they got to live with it.
You could tell that host, he's pushing the narrative, right? He's playing devil's advocate, or he truly does believe in what he's saying. He believes that comment deserves way more attention than anything else, which I find to be interesting, because if you really want to help Americans, you'd be focused on policy, but I guess not. So salutes to Byron Donald.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you all hear from a Puerto Rican who was literally there at Madison Square Garden. And let's see what he had to say about all of this. Was he offended? Did he feel like he was a Nazi of Germany or something? I'd like to know.
Here we go again. So I was at the Trump rally in MSG. Great time. When I left the rally, lo and behold, I had no idea that the headlines would be a joke that a comedian made. So everyone was focusing on him. But what about the crowd? When he did that joke, it fell flat in the room. The crowd didn't like the joke. They gave him like that's what he said. Okay, we're getting there. Because it didn't really fall well with the crowd. The MAGA crowd. Okay, so you're focusing on the comedian when the crowd did not like the joke at all.
Let me stop right there, because this is what I told you guys. Okay, this is what I told you guys, that if the people were so hateful and it was a hate rally, why didn't they laugh when he told that joke about Puerto Rico? Why didn't they laugh? Nobody laughed, okay? Because the joke wasn't funny, for one. But for two, if the people were so hateful, then they would have laughed, don't you think? But they didn't. And so, like I said, narratives clearly being pushed and painted.
Oh. But you notice that is the only thing the left has to hold on to. It was nothing about Tulsi. It was nothing about Vivek. It was nothing about Tucker. It was nothing about any of the prominent speakers there. There were about a dozen or more speakers there. So they found someone all the way down low in the totem pole that made a joke. Oh my God, yes, it's offensive. I get it. You guys are offended. Did it offend me? No, I love comedy. I laugh at every freaking thing. Again, I was born in a different age where comedy was comedy. You made fun of everything. You could have the argument, was that the right place for racist jokes? Maybe not. I'll grant you that. But it was fine when George Lopez did a racist Mexican jokes at the Tim Walz rally, right? But it's okay because they're on the left. Do I wish he would have done that joke somewhere else and not at a Trump rally? Yes, he should have done it somewhere else, because we live in sensitive times where they're going to grab anything to hold on to and make that the focal point. Forget the fact that this was a freaking sold out arena, like 10 times over. There were tens of thousands of people outside. Inside, you had nothing but array of different races, religions, everything in there. This was not some sort of white supremacy rally. Look at the people speaking. You had black, you had Indian, you had Asian. The Republican Party has shifted. And that's why the left is petrified. So they had to gloss on to some comedian who tried to make a name for himself. In my opinion, I think he did that on purpose, knowing he was going to get attention because controversy sells. And that's what selfish people do. You're just upset that the Democrat Party is losing the Hispanic vote. You're upset that the Democrat Party is losing the black vote. You're just upset that the Democrat Party is losing every vote they've taken for granted for 50, 60 years. I can't believe I had to make a video about comedy. Holy shit. Lord knows if we look at comedians historically and going forward, there'll be no more jokes. Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Dave Attell, any of these comedians, that's the job of a comedian, is say some outlandish shit. Some of it falls flat, some of it doesn't. So move on. MAGA 2024. Stop acting like a bunch of...
No lies detected. No lies detected. And that's exactly what I've been telling you guys. And here's the thing. We don't even have to worry about the joke that George Lopez told at Kamala's rally about Mexicans, because he's Mexican. But let's talk about that joke that I just showed you all that he said about black people, and how he further went on to disrespect that black woman for about 2 whole minutes. Okay, calling her names and telling her to sit her ace down and all of that, and just going in on her. But Kamala had George Lopez to speak at her rally after he said all of those things. So I find it interesting that they're not saying anything about that, like I told you. But also, for those of you who act like you're so darn worried about 2025, Project 2025, and Trump's pushing it. Trump has already come out publicly and denounced it, but who's being endorsed by them? Let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share.
Endorsed by the Heritage Foundation. Your girl, Kamala Harris, okay? Now, keep in mind, for the longest, everybody had been running around talking about Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. He's going to initiate Project 2025 and the whole nine, okay? But guess who got the endorsement from them? Kamala Harris. Now, I'm not sure if you guys do your research or not, but if you go back and do your research, you will find out that when Biden stepped down as president of the United States, they are the ones who orchestrated all of this. They are the ones who put all this stuff into place to make sure things ran as smoothly as they wanted it to go. I also believe that they are the ones who wanted Kamala Harris in place because they knew that she was going to be the one who would actually initiate Project 2025. They was just telling you guys that Donald Trump was going to do it, so you could look that way while she was doing whatever she had to do over this way, okay? Now, the question of the day is this. Since everybody was saying they're not voting for Donald Trump because he was initiating Project 2025, but this woman over here just recently got the endorsement, who are you voting for now? Are you still voting for Kamala Harris or not? Well, guess who just...
Okay, so please pay attention. Now listen to this, and I already told you all about this, but listen to it again.
Obama has the audacity to speak to black men and tell black men they need to vote for Kamala Harris when Kamala Harris administration is separating me from my wife and my wife from her daughter at 2 years old for unlawful assembly. My wife is facing 3.5 years for unlawful assembly and federal time, y'all. Okay, federal time. And it's devastating for our family, but we're gonna get through this. But I want people to know in this country, mothers, fathers, single mothers, that this cannot be tolerated, and you should not vote for Kamala, because voting for Kamala would do things like this.
Okay, so So you all heard that. Okay. I told you all this days ago. And I also told you all how Kamala is the one who is endorsed by the people from the Heritage Foundation, who are the ones who created Project 2025. While she's sitting there trying to act like it's all, okay, thank you. While she's sitting there trying to act like it's all on Trump. Okay, please pay attention. A walking contradiction. Okay, just like the young man said. Okay, please pay attention. It's all nefarious at the end of the day. Trying to paint narratives is what she does best. Her and the rest of the Democrats. Okay? Or Franco E said distasteful. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, with that all being said, I had to let somebody in. Y'all might have heard that knocking. Somebody was at the door. Okay, Belinda says, allegedly Obamacare came from the Heritage Foundation. It probably did. I hadn't researched that, but it probably did. Okay, Shoshana said, bait and switch. Exactly. But remember, before we even found out that they endorsed Kabami, I told you guys, I said, wouldn't it be something if she was the one, the Democrats were the ones really behind it? Because all they do is sit up here and lie, just like when I told you guys that they said, when they said that Trump was the one that was going to turn the military against the citizens. But then we find out September the 27th of 2024 that Biden and Kabami amended that bill DOD 5240.01, which gives the military the right to come on soil, American soil, and murder citizens. Okay? If there's civil unrest. At the end of the day, that's what they can do. Okay, they can shoot us for protesting any type of civil unrest, protesting the government, protesting politics or anything. That's what they can do. And look at that poor Black woman who has children and a husband, and now she's going to federal prison for 3 years. This is all thanks to Kabami and Biden. They're the ones taking away our freedoms. Okay, they've already done away with the First Amendment. How many times do I have to tell you? And not to mention the Second Amendment, they want to take your guns. But Kabami will sit there and lie and say, oh no, I don't want to take your guns. I have a gun. Please pay attention. This is exactly, and she's called, and here's the thing that I find so interesting. You see, she's sitting there, the Democrats are trying to paint Trump as the Nazi. But you know who's acting out like the Nazis? That's what Kamala and the Democrats are doing. You see, the Nazis spewed propaganda to demonize the people that they wanted to commit genocide upon. Okay? This is what Kabami and the Democrats are doing, as far as I'm concerned, all right, at the end of the day. And then she wants to call Trump a fascist. But what is she? Anytime you want to take away people's freedom of speech, you don't want them saying anything to the contrary of what the narrative is you're trying to push. Okay, what is that besides communism? Okay, what is that besides fascism? Okay, Maurice says, Queen, you are not seeing my super chats anymore. My last two have dissipated without mention yesterday on this live. I'm sorry, beloved. I'm sorry. Okay, I apologize, beloved. Thank you for your super chats for today, yesterday, and any other time that I missed them, beloved. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, I've been talking so much. I haven't been paying so much attention to the chat. That's what's going on, beloved. My bad. Terry Hinn says, you are an amazing content creator. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. Okay, so thank you for your super chat donations, both of you. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, so with that all being said, I have a whole lot of questions. Tanya says, loving this live, Queen. You're showing different perspectives on Calamity Harris. Not Calamity Harris. Says the woman is a psychopath. Okay. At the very least, a sociopath nonetheless. And so, and a pathological liar, okay? Just a liar who lies. She lied about working at McDonald's. Then the Democrats allegedly put out that fake picture that was clearly photoshopped and trying to debunk when Trump said that she didn't work there. Okay? Saying she worked there when she was in school. Girl, you grew up with privilege. Your parents had money. You didn't have to work at McDonald's. Stop lying. But she does all this to try to pander to her base or the people that she wants to vote for her. That's what she does. And at the end of the day, you should be asking yourself, let's talk about it. If George Lopez disrespected that Black woman so terribly in 2017, why did Kamala have him come and speak at her rally? Okay. Why does she have him come and speak at her rally? But then she turns around and talks about the comedian at Trump's rally and acts as if Trump said the jokes himself. But she doesn't want to take accountability for George Lopez and the jokes that he told that were very offensive to Black people. And not just a joke, the fact that he went in on that woman was so rude and disrespectful. Okay, talking to a woman like that. Well, why aren't they saying anything about that? Yeah, that's what they're not going to do because they love to paint and push narratives at the end of the day. Okay? And then sitting there talking about who's taking away our freedoms when she's already done so. These are the same people that had the mandates for people to take the venom, whether they wanted to or not. Okay, so please pay attention. And so anyway, honey, with that all being said, I'm about to conclude this broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in once again. Please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Okay. Be sure to click that notification bell, click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. And let me tell you guys who follow the backup channel, we're going to be live on there. We're going to be live on the backup channel in about an hour because I have got to tell you all about this black man who was shot in his neck by his neighbor. Okay. And he's out of jail. He was out of jail just like that. And the police are acting like they're scared to go and lock him up. Okay. So please pay attention. So we're going to get into it on the next broadcast. Okay. So until next time, beloveds, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got